Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari. Jayo Radha Kunj Bihari, Radha Kunj Bihari Radhe. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Ananta Dev, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Prahalad Maharaj. Jayo Pancha Tattva, Jayo Pancha Tattva, Pancha Tattva, Jayo Pancha Tattva. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Gurudev, 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 जय जय गुरुदेव। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, शिला प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरये।
नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भगवती उत्तमं श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
You all can see the screen, you can read it. Okay. So we'll be reading from 5th canto, 12th chapter, conversation between Maharaj Rahuguna and Jad Bharat. So 16th verse. So please repeat. Tasmanaro sanga susanga jata
तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता
ज्ञानासिन्हैव विविक्रणमोहा
ज्ञानासिनेहैव विविक्रणमोहः।
हरिं तदीहा कथनाश्रुताभ्यां
हरिं तदिहा कथनाश्रुताभ्यां
लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारम् अध्वनः।
लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारमध्वनः।
तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता
तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता
ज्ञानासिनेव विविक्रणमोहा
ज्ञानासिनेहैव विविक्रणमोहः।
हरि तदीहा कथनाश्रुताभ्यां
हरिं तदिहा कथनाश्रुताभ्यां
लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारम् अध्वनः।
लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारमध्वनः।
तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता
तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता
ज्ञानासिन्हैव विविक्रणमोहा
ज्ञानासिनेहैव विविक्रणमोहः।
हरिं तदीहा कथनाश्रुताभ्यां
हरिं तदिहा कथनाश्रुताभ्यां
लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारम् अध्वनः।
लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारमध्वनः।
जाता ज्ञानासिन्हैव विविक्रणमोहा हरिं तदीहा कथनश्रुताभ्यां लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारम् अध्वनः। तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता ज्ञानासिन्हैव विविक्रणमोहा हरिं तदीहा कथनाश्रुताभ्यां लब्धस्मृतिर्याति अतिपारम् अध्वनः। तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता ज्ञानासिन्हैव विविक्रणमोहा हरिं तदिहा कथनाश्रुताभ्याम् लब्धा स्मृतिर्याति अतिपारम् अध्वना
तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता
तस्मान्नरो सङ्गसुसङ्गजाता
ज्ञानासिनेहैव विवृत्कर्णमोहा
ज्ञानासिन्हैव विविक्रणमोहा
हरिं तदा तदिहा कथनासुताभ्याम्
हरिं तदिहा कथनाश्रुताभ्याम्
लब्धा स्मृतिर्याति अतिपरामध्वना
लब्धा स्मृतिर्याति अतिपारम् अध्वना. Word by word meaning. Tasmat, for this reason. Naraha, every person. Asanga, by detachment from the association of worldly people. Susanga, by the association of devotees. Jat, produced. Jnanasina, by the sword of knowledge. Iha, in this material world. Eva, even. Vivikrana moha, whose illusion is completely cut to pieces. Harim, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tad iha, of his activities. Kathana Shutabhyam, by the two processes of hearing and chanting. Labdha Smriti, the lost consciousness is regained. Yati, achieves. Atiparam, the ultimate end. Advana, of the path back home, back to Godhead. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Simply by associating with exalted devotees, anyone can attain perfection of knowledge, and with the sword of knowledge can cut to pieces the illusory associations within this material world. Through the association of devotees, one can engage in the service of the Lord by hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam. Thus one can revive his dormant Krishna consciousness and, sticking to the cultivation of Krishna consciousness, return home, back to Godhead, even in this life. Purport. To become liberated from material bondage, one must give up the association of worldly people and accept the association of devotees. Positive and negative processes are mentioned in this regard. Through the association of devotees, one develops Krishna consciousness, which is dormant within. This Krishna consciousness movement is giving this chance to everyone. We are giving shelter to everyone who is serious about progressing in Krishna consciousness. We arrange for their lodging and board so that they can peacefully cultivate Krishna consciousness and return home, back to Godhead, even in this life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Conversation Between Maharaj Raghugana and Jada Bharat. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvahe Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Utakada Kamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatham Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Dev Shri Radha Pampada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Namitamscha He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Napta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evabhyascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine, Namaste Saraswate Deve, Gaurvani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Sunyavadi, Paschata Desha Tarine. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam aham vande Shri Gurun Dina Tarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say that I'm not qualified at all to sit on this Vyasasana and speak about the glories of the Lord on the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, but only by the mercy of senior devotees and Guru Parampara, I am attempting to speak on the glories of the Lord for my own purification. So whatever the faults are, please forgive me, and anything good that you might hear is all by Guru's mercy. So we see in this today's verse that this is the conversation between Maharaj Raghuna and Jal Bharat. So Jal Bharat was Bharat Maharaj in his previous life, previous to previous. So at that time he used to rule the world, and the whole world used to be called Bharatvarsh, right? And it was a very well ruled kingdom. Everybody was happy. There were no miseries, just like Ram Rajya, right? And we are going to be celebrating the temple inauguration tomorrow. So it was just like that, right? And then after some time, now we see that whole Bharatvarsh has kind of shrunk, and now there is just a small piece of land called Bharat, which is also now India, and government is trying to make us call Bharat again. So it's good, our culture is being the leaders are getting inspired from Lord Ram, and trying to bring in our culture back. So so we see that Bharat Maharaj was ruling very nicely, and he was the son of Bhagwan Rishabdev, who had 100 sons, and he was the eldest. So he ruled the whole world for thousands of years, and then to meditate on the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he then gave up his kingdom to his next generation and went to the forest to meditate. So there he happened to see a deer, and the deer was being chased by a tiger, and the deer was running for its life, and she was pregnant. And then during that chase, the deer kind of jumped and over the cliff and river, and then fell down and eventually died. But before that, she gave birth to a baby deer. So so Maharaj Bharat thought that what he's seeing is probably Lord's plan, and that he wants me to take care of this deer. So he then starts taking care of that baby deer, and slowly, so much so that more and more of his time is going in the care of the deer. So his spiritual activities are slowly going down, and his meditation instead of the Lord is focused more on the deer. And he's thinking that he's the one who has to take care of the baby deer. And with that, the deer once ran away in the forest, and he was trying to look for him. And then it so happened that he gave up his body. So so we see that Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, right? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. So at the end of life, whatever one thinks is the body that one gets in his next life. So Bharat Maharaj then comes as a deer. But because he was a great devotee, he is able to remember his past. So, so we see that how he was able to remember, we'll talk about that. But a great devotee like Bharat Maharaj, who was a great king, a very devoted Raja Rishi, he actually at the end of his life had a fall down. So what do we understand from this? So Bharat Maharaj was actually in bhava stage, right? So almost towards the perfection. So there are how many stages? Devotional service? 9. So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, then Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, and then Bhava. Right? So he was at that stage. And after Bhava is Prem, love of Godhead. So he would have achieved perfection. So he was almost there. But at that stage of his devotional life, he had a fall down just because of his attachment to deer. So what do we learn from this? Like, is attachment really bad? Do we not have attachment to loved ones, our family, animals? People keep pets and all, cows, society, the community that we live in, the nation. People do their service for the protection of the land, right? Defense forces. So they have attachment to that. So is that not good? Should we not do that? What do we understand from this? So, so Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha, right? So, one should be equal in distress or happiness, and should be free from attachment or fear. And such a person is called Sthitadhir, right? So that is one thing that Krishna tells. And then in 5.18 Bhagavad Gita, again Krishna tells that one should see everybody in relation to Krishna. So Vidya Vinay Sampan, Brahmani Gave Hastini, right? So one should be detached, from fear and anger and all that, be equally poised and see everyone in relation to Krishna. So if one is situated like that, then one is situated in a better position, right? So now we see from the example of Srila Prabhupada as well, that he, before meeting his guru, had that desire to serve the nation. He wanted to join Mahatma Gandhi in the freedom movement. So but when he met his Guru Maharaj, then what happened? He got to understand the higher purpose of life, that one should see everything in relation to Krishna. So the Krishna consciousness movement is more important. If one does devotional service, then everything else is taken care of. So there's another example that we see. So there's a story that there was a cow in a village that was very sick and about to leave her body. So the people there, they had called for some sadhu, sage, to help out. So the sage came, Brahmana, and what he did, he saw the cow suffering, so he started reciting the entire Bhagavad Gita. So he was reciting, and as he just finished the last shloka, all these shlokas, the 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, the cow after that left her body. So then they did, the Shad ceremony and, fed all the Brahmanas and everybody. So what do we see from here? That the Brahmana, he came and he helped the cow. The cow was suffering, but he did his duty. He saw the cow also in relation to Krishna, recited the Bhagavad Gita, and was not attached to the cow. So the cow left her body while hearing Hari Katha. So that's the learning from here. So, but we see that attachment comes. So why does attachment come? Because of avidya, ignorance, and our attachment to the body, and then seeing everything in relation to the body. This body is mine, and then everybody who's related with the body, they are mine. So my family, my country, my friends, and all that. So this happens again. The ignorance is that our mind is contaminated, and with that we have all these attachments. So mind is contaminated by this asat sangha, the bad association, and that is not just with people. It's not just that I'm associating with some people that I get affected. It's the association of our senses also, the sense objects. So our vision, taste, smell, right? So we have examples of that as well. How bad association affects us. So we see an example in terms of person. So Bhaumasura, he was the son of Bhumi Devi and Varahadev, but due to bad association, he turned into a demon. So much so, he used to trouble so many people, and he captured all these princesses, and then Krishna himself had to kill him. Right? So this is an example of bad association. And then through sense objects, if we take the sense object of vision, so another example we see in the scriptures is Ajamila. He was practicing devotional service, but what happened? One time he saw a Shudra and Shudrani, a prostitute, and just by seeing them, being intimate, his consciousness got polluted. So all his Brahmanical activities, duties that you're doing, they all were spoiled, right? So we see just from sense object also we get into problems. And then the sense of taste. So Bhishma Pitama, he is a great example. So he was when he was lying on the arrows of the bed of arrows, he gave a philosophy and advice, good advice to Yudhishthira Maharaj, to the Pandavas, on how to rule. So they were disturbed and didn't know how to go forward, and Bhishma Pitama gave them very nice advice. So Draupadi was also there, right? But she was a little confused, and she said to Bhishma Pitama, and Bhishma Pitama noticed that that she is having some doubts. So Draupadi said that what you've spoken is good, but when I was being disrobed, why were you quiet at that time? And now that you're speaking such words of wisdom, it actually does not befit you. So Bhishma Pitama said, yes, you're right, and the reason for that is when that episode happened, that time I was with the Kauravas, I was taking food from them, right? So because of that, I could not speak. But now I am on these bed of arrows, and with all these austerities, my mind is purified, and thus I am able to give this advice. So we see that even so Bhishma Pitama, he is a Mahajan. How can such a behavior happen from him? So he again is just giving us an example that how bad association even by taste, can affect us. So we should, be careful in eating matters. When we should eat only prasadam. Bhoga cooked in the right consciousness, offered to the Lord, and then we honor it. So we should try to restrain ourselves from eating outside, because we don't know with what consciousness it is prepared, and that consciousness can have effect on our bhakti. So but then we see that so Bharat Maharaj had this fall down, but he was obviously doing devotional service. So does that go waste? No, right? So again, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Bikarma Nasho Asti, right? Whatever little bit also devotional service one does never goes waste, right? So we see that here, that in material world, whatever we do will, if it is not completed, it's of no use. Everything is gone, right? Financial transactions, or if you are purchasing anything and if you lose the money, everything is gone. But in spirituality, in devotional service, it's not like that. Whatever little bit activity we do for the pleasure of the Lord will always be there to help us. So so much so that even in our next life, we can resume from where we would have left off. So Krishna tells that Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe, right? So and then Krishna gives us that opportunity, or a person who has fallen down, to have a head start, right? So one can take birth in a pious family, or in a rich family, where one doesn't have to endeavor so much to again come back to the same place where he would have left off. So that opportunity is given to us by Krishna, and we have to obviously make use of that. Otherwise, we can't. It's our loss. And in Srimad Bhagavatam also we see that a devotee who is surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, even if there is a fall down, he will never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. So from these points we see that Lord is merciful and we have opportunity. But obviously, we should be, the criteria is that we should be surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord. That dedication to serve Him is there. And Bhagavatam, begins with, like Parikshit Maharaj asks Sukdev Goswami, right, that what is that one should do, or one's state of mind should be during the life and just before leaving the body. So Sukdev Goswami says, Ante Narayan Smriti, right? So one should remember the Lord at the end of his life. So and Krishna also tells that, right? Ante Kale Chamameva. So if one remembers Krishna at the time of leaving his body, one can attain his nature. So that's the message or instruction, or a message that Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, right? So what do we have to do? To implement that, we have to practice. Practice for how long? Like kids, they have exams, so they will just practice a day before, and it becomes so difficult for the parents also. We have to put everything aside, office work and all, and make sure that the kid understands the topics. And when the exam question comes, and then it's like, oh, I knew this, I did this yesterday, what is it? One doesn't remember. So one has to practice. If one practices continuously, then he'll be able to do good in the exams. So the same way, we have to practice. Do we know when our exam is going to be? It could be any moment, right? Could be now also. So we have to practice right from the beginning. Right? See, Prahlad Maharaj says that we should start from the age of 5. So that practice is very important. Now, practice should also be sincere. Artificial practice is not going to help. So Srila Prabhupada, gives this very wonderful example of a parrot. So parrot also, he mimics and can speak. So parrot, if parrot is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and all of a sudden cat comes and catches its neck, then what does the parrot do? Prabhupada said, tie, it will make that sound. So that time Krishna doesn't come. So artificial practice is not going to help. We have to be sincere, we have to do attentive chanting, remember the Lord always, call out to Him, and then only we would have a hope to remember Him when the end time comes. And we can test ourselves. I test myself several times in driving. Several times it so happens that all of a sudden there's a situation when you could just things could go wrong terribly. And what is that comes out from our mouth at that time? So it's not easy. Not always does Krishna come out of my mouth. So we try to judge ourselves like that. Not that we need to get into those situations deliberately, but contemplate and try to see situations. So like that now, Bharat Maharaj, he got this body of deer, but because of what we just saw, that Krishna's mercy is there upon devotees, he was able to remember his past life and that the mistake that he did. So he was like, okay, now I have to make sure I don't repeat, right? So that's another thing. We should not just keep going on making mistakes. We should learn from our mistakes. And then he was in the body of deer for a short while, and then he got the human body. And then, so human body was the birth in a Brahmana family, and he was then known as Jad Bharat, right? So now he was determined that come what may, I have to be focused, not repeat my mistakes. So with that consciousness, then he was always focused on the Lord. Now for the normal mundane people, he appeared a different person, a mad person, like a dumb and deaf person. So which was helpful for Jad Bharat as well, that he doesn't need to associate with worldly people and continue with his focus. So now that time Maharaj Rahugana, he was the king, and he was a devotee as well. He was going to hear about the Supreme Lord, going to hear Krishna Katha. So he was in a palanquin, and the servants, they were taking him to this Krishna Katha. So he was getting late, and he wanted to reach there on time for the Katha. Not like me or some people that traffic is also to blame, but we reach when the Katha starts. We see some people, and then when it's prasadam time, then we see many more. So Maharaj Rahugana was not like that. He was like, I have to reach before time so that I can hear the Katha. So he ordered his servants, come on, move quickly, I don't have time, I'm getting late. So they were also holding the palanquin is not easy, and they happened to see this one person who is very tall, well built, and he is a Jad Bharat, right? So they request him also that please come and help us, so he comes, and he also takes hold of one arm, and then instead of going faster, the king starts going slower. So he gets angry, what's going on, why are you guys going so slow? So these other servants, they are like, they see that this person whom they got was actually going slow. So why was that? So Jal Bharat he's a great devotee. And like we saw, we just talked about this verse, 5:18, Vidya Vina Sampanna. So he would see Krishna in everyone, so he would walk very carefully. Every step that he keeps is like, I should not trample or kill any ants or any small insects. So such is the consciousness of great devotees, right? So that's the reason he's slow. So they tell to the king that, we are trying our best, but we got this person and he is slowing us down. So the king looked at him and he also started, scolding him. And then Jal Bharat, what does he do? He initially listens, but then starts speaking. And when he starts speaking, the king immediately understands that, he is not a ordinary person. He's a devotee of the Lord. He's a great personality. So he immediately gets down, and because he himself is a devotee, right, and he's going to hear Krishna Katha. So it's like a Lord's arrangement. It's like, a practical happening there right now, then and there. One is going to give a theory exam, but Viva is just come up. So the kids, they are doing this board practicals right now. So, it's a combination of these things. So if you know your theory, you can do your practical also nicely, right? So that's the time for applying the knowledge. So he gets down and he's like, okay, this is a great devotee, and I have committed Vaishnava Aprad. That's what he thinks. So he apologizes, and is in that consciousness. So we see that Vaishnava Aprad is a great offense that we should all be careful of. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita we see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he brings this point, the importance of this point, while he is giving the philosophy to Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, he teaches them. So he gives this example of the mad elephant. So if we have a wonderful garden, but if a elephant comes in, he will trample and just destroy the whole garden, right? So this garden is like a bhakti, and if a elephant of Vaishnava Aprad comes in, then all our endeavors, the benefits that we would have got by our spiritual activities would get destroyed. So we have to be really very careful, in committing offenses, especially to Vaishnavas. So we see that the first offense on the holy name itself is Vaishnava Aprad, right? So that's how the priority and importance to this aspect is. So we should be very careful in our dealings with devotees. So in this verse, association is the key point that Jal Bharat is bringing out. So association mein we should be very careful. In various bhajans we see that if we make an offense to the holy name or to Krishna also, Krishna can still forgive us. And how do we do prayashchit? We remember him, we chant the holy name again, and Krishna can forgive us. But if we commit an offense to any Vaishnava, a dear devotee of the Lord, then even Lord will not forgive us. So that's how important Vaishnava Aprad is. And we see from Chaitanya Charitamrita as well that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother, Sachi Mata, she had also committed Aprad. What was that? Advaita, yeah. So she had this thought against Advaita Acharya that he, because of him, my elder son went away from home, and now my younger son will also go. So she had that thought, and she was angry on Advaita Acharya. So this was also a Vaishnava Prad. And the devotees, they used to ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are so merciful. You bestow your mercy upon all the devotees. Why not upon your mother? So he says that she has committed a Vaishnava Prad. So when one time he and Advaitacharya and his mother were there, that time she took the dust of Advaitacharya's lotus feet upon her head, and that's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that now she will get the Bhagavad Prem. So we see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this message of Vaishnava Prad. So then the king asks Jal Bharat that how do we perfect our life, right? So Jal Bharat initially, like when he was scolded by the king, so he just took these scoldings, he was quiet, he was just listening. And then when he started speaking like a lion, so with confidence, with the power of his speech, the message was understood by the king. So the devotees, Srila Prabhupada, they had asked one time that how do we remain humble during our service, especially in services like book distribution. So very humbling experiences we get. The ego is crushed every time, and it's not easy. So Srila Prabhupada said that one should be humble at home and like a lion outside. That's how one should carry oneself. We generally, I tend to do the other way around. Lion at home. Outside can't be lion, so no other option. Bangalore nowadays we have to be very careful. Like north, things are getting worse here with the traffic. Everybody is in a rush. Nobody has got time, and we get to experience. In fact, Bangalore traffic road gives us a lot of purification opportunities. Tolerance, patience, trying to be calm, controlling our anger. So all these we should make use of such opportunities. So Jal Bharat then he advises association of devotees. Good association of devotees. If one takes that, then one can perfect the life. And how does that happen? Because association of devotees gives what? Knowledge. And what knowledge? Transcendental knowledge, not the ordinary mundane knowledge. And what is the understanding or conclusion from this transcendental knowledge that we get? That is Bhakti Yoga. That is the culmination. So with Bhakti Yoga, one can attain the love of God, and please the Lord. So that's the ultimate purpose of life and the perfection of life. So when the king asked Jal Bharat, how do we achieve perfection? That's what he tells, that you be in association of devotees, which will give you the knowledge by which one will start practicing Bhakti Yoga, and then one will develop the love of God and please the Lord. So how does that happen? So Bhakti Yoga begins with what? We see in this verse, Shravanam Kirtanam, right? So, and with Shravanam Kirtanam, what happens? So we have to hear, we have to glorify. Like we're saying, the vision is not perfect. But how do we, so we acquire knowledge from our vision, but that's not perfect. So how do we make it perfect? By hearing, right? So it's said that we see through our ears, right? So we have to hear, and hear from authorities, right? So we are fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has given us all this, Vedic knowledge, and this ISKCON institution. So we have great acharyas, from whom we can learn and hear. and then understand. So when we do that, what happens? So so you see this shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Shravan Adi Shuddha Chitte Karaya Udaya. So the love of God, love of Krishna is within all of us. It's within our heart. It's just that it is dormant. We are not even aware of it. We are in illusion. So we see earlier our culture was like that ancestors, they all knew. They used to know our scriptures, and they used to recite Bhagavatam at home, our elders, and pass on that knowledge to the next generations. But that is broken. So we don't get that knowledge anymore. We ourselves didn't know. So it's just going worse, right? So that dormant love will just keep accumulating dust, and it will stay like that. So one gets an opportunity by associating with devotees to dust it off and gradually revive it. So when we hear the holy name, when we chant the holy name, then that dormant love awakens. And it's not that it can be just purchased, from everybody's, everything is marketplace, Play Store, Google, whatnot. So just download and we'll get the love. It comes on its own. It springs up automatically. So Srila Prabhupada says that it springs automatically. But what do we need to do to make it spring automatically? We need to call out to the Lord, with all our heart. We need to cry out like a baby cries for his mother. So with that mood, we should call out to the Lord. Then we can hope to revive this love. So so then what happens when this love awakens? Then we can counter the effects of Maya. So Maya keeps us in this illusion. So then when the love awakens, then with that purity, with the force, we can fight the effects of Maya. And Maya has its very good friends, 6 of them. So what are those? Lust, greed, envy, anger. So all of these, they hinder our spiritual progress, right? So with this power of the holy name, we get to fight with these. And it's not that one time we fought, we won, and that's it, done. Yeah, now I'm a devotee, life is over, so let's do something else. It is a constant struggle. And we see from this example, Bharat Maharaj, at the bhav stage also he fell down. So Prabhupada says that accidents happen even on royal roads. So we have to be careful at every step of the way. So Maya is always there, lurking around. The moment we relax, that's it, gone. So Arjun, in Bhagavad Gita we see Arjun asks Krishna, right, that how can we fight this tendency, that when we don't want to do something, we still end up doing it, right? So there is always that call within us. We sometimes might know that okay, there are some temptations that come along the way, and like, okay, I should not be engaging into such and such activity. But then there is a conversation happening within us, no? Should I do it? No. Okay, go ahead, do. Doesn't matter. Nobody's watching. Come on, one time. That's it. Come on. No, it's not good. And that fight is going on, right? So if we are not strong enough, then we give in to the temptations, right? So Arjun had asked this question to Krishna, and what does Krishna tell? That yeah, it's not easy, and this is nothing but lust, right? And he doesn't just tell the enemy, he also tells where the enemy is located, so that one can focus accordingly. Okay, I know my enemy and I know where he is, so that I can plan my activities. So what does he say? Where are what are the locations? Senses, mind, and intelligence, right? So So it's about practice, and we have to control our intelligence, or strengthen our intelligence rather. And with that strong intelligence, then we can direct or control the mind, which in turn can control the senses. So, this activity needs to happen. Now, for that, to strengthen the intelligence, what is needed? Knowledge, right? And that knowledge, then how does it come? Through the association of devotees. So they always, the devotees, such pure devotees, they always talk about the scriptures, about the Lord. So they pass on that knowledge, and with that knowledge we hope to strengthen our intelligence and then control or keep fighting with Maya. Keep fighting, that's the key. So it's always an ongoing struggle. So this knowledge that we get, this is like we discussed now, it is of two types. So material knowledge and transcendental knowledge. So material knowledge, there is no end to it. There is so much out there, and if there is a scarcity, it is of spiritual knowledge. So by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, there is that endeavor that the void that is being created of Brahmanas in the Varnashram system, that is being plugged in slowly and surely. And once that becomes strong, then once the Kshatriyas, they will start coming in, then we'll hope for a good governance and a good society. Kind of seeing good leaders in our Prime Minister Modi, how he is taking inspiration from Lord Ram, and inaugurating the temple, Ayodhya temple, which is tomorrow. And he told, right, that he in the government takes inspiration from the Lord. So, and how wonderfully he is bringing the whole nation together for this event, right? It's not just at the site where some dignitaries are invited, but this Akshat has been sent to all over India, and that sense of belonging, that feeling that yes, this is our culture, he is our Lord, we're welcoming the Lord. So that's a great time that our leaders are also acting in this way. So this material knowledge and spiritual knowledge the difference again is everybody wants happiness, right? And for that, in material world, you need good education. Why? So that you can get good job, earn good money, and have a good life. So now this endeavor for good life, everybody is struggling so hard, to acquire this material knowledge. And where is the money? That is where everybody is going towards. So for that, what is the education needed? Everybody is going now. Even though one's nature might not be that, but one is struggling to understand that. And because of that, all these we see coaching centers, and it's a big flourishing business. Kids are young students. I mean, 7th, 8th grade students are in depression. Can you believe that? I spoke to kids, got to know from my kids, their fellow colleagues, they're in depression already, so in an attempt to be happy, one is actually going in depression. That's what's happening in our attempt to acquire material knowledge. Now, is material knowledge, I'm not saying material knowledge is bad and we should not go for that. No, it is good, because with that we actually understand this creation, and this creation is by the Supreme Lord only, right? So it should be combined with spiritual knowledge. Both go hand in hand. With material knowledge and spiritual knowledge, we understand the complete picture. We understand how Lord has created this creation, what is the purpose of life, what should we be doing, and that will give us the happiness that everyone is seeking for. So that is what is missing. Everybody is like, I'll be happy, and okay, the trouble is for now. Some people will succumb, some keep moving on with the hope of a better future, and that struggle just continues. And in that journey, by Lord's arrangement or past karma, one might get a Gyat Sukriti and get in touch with a devotee. And when one gets a job, then the frustrations start creeping in, that all this life I had this notion that, okay, if I do this study, if I get all this knowledge, I will get a good job, I'll get a good salary, and I'll have a comfortable life. But after that, when one reaches that stage, realizes that, oh, this all is actually not true. So then when those frustrations start coming in, then one looks for some alternate options. And when one gets in connect with a devotee, if his frustrations are answered, if he gets the answers to his questions answered, then one is fortunate and gets onto this path. If one gets frustrated there also, then the cycle continues. So that is where the job of devotees becomes even more important. That when one new person comes in contact, that association matters a lot. It determines how the person is going to go forward in life. So this association, a moment worth of association can benefit a person greatly. So you see that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra kahe. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hai. Lava Matra, even a fraction of a second, that much itself is enough association if we get of a pure devotee. So we should aspire for such an association. And there are wonderful examples of such, short associations, not a momentary association or a word spoken by a pure devotee, a sentence spoken. So, some examples of Narad Muni, meeting the Daku, Ratnakar. He was a Daku, but Narad Muni just asked him one question. What was that question? That
is your family going to share the...
Yeah. So all these activities that you're doing, is this karma going to be shared by your family members? You have a family, wife, kids, are they going to partake in this? And that's it. He went and checked this family and he realized he's all out on his own. Nobody is whom he thinks is mine, my family. Everybody has to pay for his own actions. So what happened? That just one question transformed his life to such an extent that Lord Brahma came to visit him, blessed him. And what did he end up doing? He wrote Ramayana. So see, such a great service that he did, just by one question that Narad Muni asked. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells on association that one can't go back to Godhead, even if one is chanting lakhs of rounds, unless one has association of devotees. So that's how important association is. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that. And our ISKCON is a great proof of that. Srila Prabhupada, like he said, wanted to join the struggle movement, but just with a friend who took him by force, to meet who would then be his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And on the first meeting, he just gave him an instruction, and that stayed with him. And it took him some time, but he was contemplating on that. He accepted him as his guru then and there itself, and meditating, and then he went ahead, and because of him we are all sitting here today. So that's the power of association. But when we get this association, would we straight away just start practicing and we'll just become perfect? Our current condition is not like that. We don't even have a taste of hearing. So some time back, a great devotee, was telling me that please pray for me so that I can do nice chanting. And I'm like, Prabhuji, you also pray for me. That is one thing that I also don't have. So I am like great devotees. You see that they are saying that we don't have taste of chanting. What hope is there for me? So we have to just endeavor. And on this we see that Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction tells, right, that this when we are afflicted with this mode of ignorance, then the holy name and the pastimes of the Lord, they are like sweet pastimes, very sweet like candy. But we can't taste that. Our current state is not good. We are afflicted with Maya, and we are in this conditioned, we are diseased. So we are not able to taste it. So what do we do to get out of this disease so that we can start relishing it? So we have to chant the holy name. And just like when we have a disease, doctor prescribes some medicine, and then with the effect of that medicine, slowly the taste start coming back in. Jaundice we see, right? So like that, we have to take this medicine of the holy name, and then we can hope to get the taste and fight with these envies. And this is not easy. Krishna says that his energy, Maya, is very difficult to overcome, but it is not impossible. It can be overcome. Mama Maya Duratyaya. But one who surrenders unto him can easily overcome. So it is difficult, but easy also. So easy why? If we surrender to the Lord. So this Kali Yuga, this time, like you're saying, the culture, how it is being degraded and all, right? So it is very difficult times, and it is full of faults. Srimad Bhagavatam, see, Kaler doshe nidhe rajan. Full of faults. But there is one good quality. And that good quality is what? Yeah, the holy name. And in that verse itself says, Astiyo hi eko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vraje. So chanting of the holy name, and not just any holy name, Krishna's name. So this was kirtana deva krishnasya. So we should chant the holy name of Krishna, and that will give us the strength. It will help us fight with these vices. So and then we see from the Shiksha Ashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the first one itself, Cheto Darpan Marjana. When we chant, then our heart becomes purified. It becomes clear, and with that, then we start experiencing peace and happiness. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Right. So this is what people are looking for, and they are on the path of material education. Right? But they are getting frustrated. And whatever happiness, it's not that they will not get happiness, but that happiness is again illusory. Right? One thinks that one is in happiness when in fact one is suffering. So, so with this, chanting and the sadhu sangha, that we get this knowledge, we begin chanting, and then we start experiencing these benefits. But like I said, are we? First of all, we are not in that position, so we have to slowly start practicing, and then hope to experience. But then one might say, and we see many devotees, they, like I just mentioned, we pray that please may I get the taste of chanting. So is it really a process that works? How do we know? It's not working for me. I've been chanting for so long, I'm still not getting taste. So is it really a good thing? How do we know? So we see acharyas, and they are examples, like the theory lab thing I said. So theory is this process, and lab. So like materialist, they will say material education scientists and all. We can prove the knowledge that we have in labs. How can you prove? So what is our lab? Acharyas. They are our lab. By seeing them, they are following this process. They are chanting the holy name with purity, with sincerity, with dedication. And by seeing them, we have this confidence and faith that yes, this process works. But I am so much conditioned that it will take a lot more time for me. And again, I cannot do it on my own. I need mercy of devotees. In this conversation itself, in the beginning, I think last week it would have come, that a devotee will not get purification, will not advance unless and until one gets the mercy of devotees, right? So one's own endeavor also is not enough. One has to keep endeavoring, but that endeavor attracts the mercy of the Lord, which comes through the devotees, and then we get an opportunity to purify. So this chanting is very important. My Guru Maharaj stresses so much on the importance of chanting. That chanting, attentive chanting, actually is the solution of all the problems. If we chant nicely, then everything will get taken care of by the Lord. So chanting, is again of stages, right? Nam Aprada, Nam Bhash, Shuddhnam. So we have to endeavor to do nice chanting, not do offenses, the 10 offenses to the holy name, and we should endeavor to not do that, and hope. Shuddhnam is far away, but hope for that. So and chanting is also an association. How is that an association? Association with the Lord. Chanting is a seva. So we have to chant in that mood that I am doing a service to the Lord, and one should remember the Lord. So when we remember somebody of our family or loved ones or something, what happens? An image of theirs, or thought of theirs, probably that comes to our mind. But when we chant and when we remember the Lord Himself comes. So that's the difference, again, material and spiritual. So so it's an association. So we should try to benefit from that. And how try to go quickly. So association also then is of 3 types, right? So association of Uttam Bhakta, Madhyam Bhakta, and Kanishta Bhakta. So one should endeavor to seek association of a pure devotee, Uttam Bhakta, and one should take pleasure in that. Normally one doesn't want to associate, because then what will happen? We will get to hear things from devotees that we at that point in time are not in a stage to one hear or carry out what the devotee might tell us to do. So we are not in that position. So one actually hesitates in associating with devotees. So we should endeavor to get past that. And Bhagavatam gives this example. Sukadeva Goswami tells that when a peacock sees the rain clouds, it becomes so happy and dances. So like that we should be happy when we get an opportunity to associate with great devotees. And we should look at associating with our peers, and with them we should share, exchange, and try to practice the devotional activities together. And the junior devotees, we should try to help them, be compassionate upon them. Not that Srila Prabhupada tells that we are in our conditioned state, we always think that I am a great devotee, I am a senior devotee, and in senior also one actually becomes senior devotee, not senior. So one is just seen near the senior devotees, but from the acharan and all, one is not really behaving like that. So one just tends to think that, see, I have so great devotee connects, I am senior, and those kind of thoughts are not good. And then one does not on the juniors, one might think that they are my followers, so they will listen to me, I have got so many followers, I am a master, I am prabhu, so like those kind of things come. And at peer level, I am greater than you, I have got more than you, I know more than you, kind of things. So these are not good for our bhakti. So we should try to control over these things, and this again are those vices that are inflicting upon us. So we should, again, the solution to this is chanting. So we should endeavor to chant nicely, and that only can help. And Prabhupada has given us this program, morning program, Bhagavatam program, evening Bhagavad Gita, and then chant in the morning. So if we just try to follow this with sincere endeavor, with determination, then we can hope to fight and win over these vices. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that one who does these activities, chanting, reading the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, such a devotee is with the Lord, and the Lord is with such a devotee. So wouldn't we want the Lord to be with us? So with that thought, we should be determined in our endeavors. It's not easy, but that's the knowledge we get, and then we should try to endeavor for that, and watch out for Vaishnava Aprad. And when we don't have this, such an association, what happens? So you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai, what is the most miserable thing? And what does he say? Not having devotee association. That is the most miserable thing. It is so painful. And why would it be painful? Again, not having, when one doesn't have association, what could be the reasons? One is, like I said, one doesn't want to have association, because one is not strong enough, maybe shy, or whatever. And the other is, one is committing Vaishnava Aprad. So some people even like doing Aprad, or teasing, or troubling others. And you see, Madhavendra Puri's disciple, Ramchandra Puri and Ishwara Puri. So Ramchandra Puri used to always take joy in troubling sannyasis. He will give them prasadam, and they will say, no, I cannot eat this much, or I don't want. They will force you, no, this is Jagannath prasadam, please have. So they will eat. And then when they eat, he says, look at this, these sannyasis eating like grahasthas. So he will tease them like that. And he goes on even to teach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the room that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, there were just some ants he happened to see, and he will say that looks like some sannyasis are eating too much of sweet. So ants are around. So Madhavendra Puri was not happy with such behavior, and he told that please don't be near me. My time is going away. Don't be around me when I'm leaving my body. Because then all my activities throughout the life will go in waste. So one should not try things like this, because one will not even get the mercy of Guru. And on the other hand, Ishwara Puri, we see, he was blessed by his Guru, that he used to serve Guru so nicely. It's like, may you preach the glories of the holy name far and wide. And we see that through his instruction and their service, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and we have ISKCON, and we are having this wonderful association. So almost done. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is very important, how do we benefit? So like I said, we get association, we get knowledge, which shows us the path to move forward, to perfect our life, to walk towards love of Godhead, to get His mercy. And for that, we need to chant, so that we can get the hope of fighting all these vices. But how do we, despite knowing this and all that, we are struggling, right? So no matter, it is a struggle. But then how do we move along this path? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that these are steps that we are taking. So the first step should be shelter of Guru. That should be our first step. And then the second step should be taking Diksha. So taking initiation from Guru. And the third step then should be doing service, seva. And seva in a humble mood. not just like, with pride and all, and this is my service, I am senior so I get this service, this service I can't do, this is not my type, not like that. In fact, one should be utmost humble in his service to serve Guru and devotees. And then the next step should be, one should think, now what can I renounce, what can I give up, to move forward. And that is not easy, which brings this point from this verse again, right? Attachments. So we have so many attachments. We have to slowly give those attachments which are not conducive for our bhakti. So we have to think, what can I give up? And giving up is not easy. There's one joke I heard, that there was one person, he was at the edge of a cliff, and he happened to slip over, and while he was falling down, he caught hold of a branch, and he was hanging by holding this one hand, and then he looked down, and it was quite steep, stones and rocky, mountainous terrain, and looked up, and it was like quite high, the edge of cliff, and he's like, what should I do? So he called out to the Lord, God, if you are there, please help me, tell me what should I do. So what does so he's just hanging, and then he hears a voice, and the voice is, if you have faith in me, let go. So he's like, okay, looks down, and then looks up again, and he says, is there anyone else out there? So it is so hard to let go. That's the message from this joke. So it's not easy, and we have to keep contemplating on that. If I want to advance, I need to let go of my attachments. So and Rupa Goswami also says that this Krishna bhakti, don't let it slip away. Whatever you have to do whatever it takes. Don't let it slip away. So we are really fortunate that we are in this time. Srila Prabhupada has given us all this knowledge. He has given us wonderful devotees. His direct disciples are around. When we are here, that is the most fortunate situation for us. And don't know how long will they all be there. All they are old now in their material bodies, but we should be determined, and in our association with each other, we should try to implement this. Ask each other that what should I do to advance, and with that we can keep a check on each other, we can help each other advance and keep all these vices behind us and do service with a humble attitude. So recently we did book marathon seva. So my Guru Maharaj just some time back, he acknowledged all the devotees in ISKCON who did this service of book distribution. He thanked them, and he said that with your this seva, Krishna is pleased. So yeah, we should endeavor on this path with the aim of pleasing Guru and Krishna. Okay. So with that, I stop here. Any questions, comments, or anybody wants to share, add anything? Yes.
Thank you, sir. Very beautifully articulated.
Hari. I just repeated what I heard, Prabhuji.
So you made a nice point that at times people and at times we also are frustrated in life. Many people, because outside the world, material happiness, like it looks, because it's very illusory. And then if we have a good sukriti, then we turn to devotees. They come to temple, we turn to devotees. And that association of a person visiting temple, and that determines whether how his path is going to be formed. So can you give us some, based on your experience, some guidance that how we can make this experience of others visiting us a very nice and very good experience for someone, so that we can help him in his journey to Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice question. So within devotees, devotee care is one aspect on that, right? It is very important. Srila Prabhupada, in fact, and I'll come to the new one also. Srila Prabhupada talked about boiling the milk analogy, right? So he in fact told his disciples and at that point in time that stop going and preaching outward now. We've got enough people in. Make sure that you take care of them first. You know, everybody should be nourished, should be felt, that they are part of the congregation. They should feel the love. So the love and care is very important. And with that, nourishment should happen. When the devotees are nourished, then you go out and bring in more. So so that is one thing. We tend to kind of put that behind, that okay, devotees and come in, they are devotees now, let's focus on getting more and more. So we get into the numbers aspect, and then it is just like a funnel or a queue system, no? First in, first out. So it just keeps going, and we just keep monitoring the queue. We try to make the queue bigger and all that. So the focus should be on making devotees feel loved. That is within the devotees. Now for new people, same aspect. When we practice, actually, when we get this association and we're on this bhakti path, the feeling of compassion should arise in us, right? So with that compassion, then we want to distribute this to everybody. That why is somebody else also being troubled? So with that consciousness, then we approach, not just that okay, there are groups and see how many people I got, how many you got. No. Even if we bring in one person to Krishna consciousness, life is successful. Krishna says that anybody who preaches my message is most dear to me. So if you are dear to Krishna, done. So so that should be the focus. And like in my example, I used to go to ISKCON temple, every year on Janmashtami, because Janmashtami, ISKCON, best place to be, right? So we used to go there and come back. It was good experience, but because it used to be late night, next day office, so we couldn't really associate too much. Kirtan and all that we used to attend, and it was very nice. We used to have good feeling. And then one time we went to so this was in US, so we went to New Vrindavan, just for a weekend trip. And there we met devotees who gave us, there were devotees who were talking about Srila Prabhupada, American devotees talking about Srila Prabhupada, Indian culture, and I was like, really, theek hai. And not really at that point, all these vices were there in front of me. But I was still, yeah, this is good. And then one devotee told us about the chanting of the holy name, gave us the beads, and we sat there and chanted. And that felt very nice. It was something different. And then we went back to our place, and then we inquired about this, holy name and chanting and what is this. So we went back to the same temple that where we used to go every year on Janmashtami. And then we got the association of devotees. They told us, okay, this is the program, you come there. And then we started going. And then we used to go to temple, Prashadam. It was so amazing. And when we came to know that there's no onion garlic, we were like, really, can it be so tasty? And Kirtan. These two were like just amazing. I remember, and just that was towards the year end. So New Year time, we were like, okay, New Year, where should we go and celebrate? And there this through devotees with whom we just got connected, like, let's celebrate in the temple. I was like, New Year, who celebrates in temple? And our other friends, they're like, we are going to have party at home, come and we'll enjoy. What enjoyment means, I don't want to elaborate on that. So like there was that choice to make. Should we go to the temple or should we go with our material friends and have that kind of party? So we chose to go to the temple. And that decision came why? So to your question, Prabhuji, like the initial interaction, it was not like forced upon us. No, the holy name was given, and then the prasadam was given, the kirtan was given, and that experience that we got, that was just amazing. The association of devotees, there were devotees who used to come, in this association that we're taking so much pains to come. It was a weekly program, Bhakti Vriksha, and they used to come from so far and leave their family and come for us. So the sacrifice that I saw in devotees, that was amazing. That why is somebody doing a selfless service, sacrifice for someone whom he doesn't even know? That touches the heart. And that is the thing that we need to pass on. That there is no motive behind why I am chasing you. I'm not forcing anything upon you. Book distribution also, I'm not pushing this book down your throat. You take this because it will help you, and then leave it there. Because when we think that I am doing, that also is the problem. Everything is actually Lord's plan. This Agya Sukriti, Lord has planned this person is going to get a book. He is going to get the holy name through someone. We just are nimit matras. So we have to understand that and then serve accordingly. And that New Year party was just amazing. I was like, wow. Midnight kirtan, dancing our way into New Year. I still remember that. So I hope that answered Prabhu. Yes, Mathan. Hare Krishna. Glories to Srila Prabhupada.
So we are struggling with the chanting of holy name. As you give the example of the parrot who was who just chanted without actually feeling the words of holy name. So is there any difference between that and Ajamil's case where he said the word Narayan during his end of the days? He was not actually calling out Lord's name, but he was calling out to his son. So is there any difference between the parrot who was saying it unmindfully and Ajamil who was also saying it unmindfully?
Yeah, there is a difference. So a parrot is like, doing the devotional activity, but not with heart, with the seriousness. He just knows that there is this process without knowing the reason behind it. So that's analogy to give us this message that, we should do it with dedication. Ajamil did devotional service. He was doing spiritual activities, but he had a fall down. So now we saw that, right? That Krishna also states in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 30th verse, 31st, I think, that a person who is devoted to me, is doing loving service to me. If he has an occasional fall down, he should still be considered a sadhu. So, and then I will help him come back to righteousness, right? So that's the verdict of Krishna. His protection is there on such devotees. So Ajamil did, it was not an artificial activity that he did earlier. Because he did something, nice, that came back to help him later on. So he was able to take the name of the Lord through his son, which again is Lord's plan, and he was given another opportunity. Had he not done at all in the beginning, then maybe it would have been just a tie. Okay, bhai. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की।